Hello everyone, this is a lesson on financial maths, particularly timeline. It's called timeline because there are changes that are done to an investment. So to get it right, you need to draw the changes in a timeline so that you get them right. We're going to use an example to explain this topic. Let us read the example. A good practice in financial maths is to read a statement more than once. So I'm going to read it the first time and not do anything. And then when I read the second time, then I'm going to do the timeline. It says Pusiso deposit 5,500 into a savings account. 5 years later, 4,000 is added to the savings. The interest rate for the first 3 years is 14% compounded semi-annual. Thereafter, the interest rate changes to 12% annual compounded monthly. Calculate the future value of the saving at the end of the 7th year. Okay, let's read it again and then do the timeline. Okay, it says Spusiso deposited 5,500 into a savings account. So at time 0, the money has not spent any time in the bank. They deposited 5,500. So the time is the time that the money have spent in the bank. So at time 0, you just deposited the money. And then 5 years later, so it means it's T5. T5. What happened T5? 4,000 is added to the savings account. So there was 4,000 that was added 5 years later, 5 years from the original deposit. Okay. The interest rate for the first 3 years is 14%. It's 14% per annum compounded semi-annual. Okay, so we have a T3. In T3, the first 3 years, the interest is 14%. You remember, you write it as a decimal. It's 0.14 divided by compounded semi-annual. So it means you divide by 2. There are 2, semi means half. There are 2 half years in a year. Okay, let's continue with our question. Thereafter, the interest rate changed to 12% per annum compounded monthly. Okay, it means after these 3 years, they change it to 12%. 12% is 0.12 divided by, it says compounded monthly, so it's divided by 12. And then calculate the future value of the savings at the end of the 7 years. So it means this money stayed in the bank for 7 years. Okay, let's see how we calculate that. This question says compounded. So the formula that we use is the compound interest formula, like that, right? When you write your timeline, write the amounts at the bottom and then the changing of the interest rate on top. It makes it easier for you. Okay, the first amount, they deposited the 5,500. 1 plus the interest was 0.14 divided by 12. Now, for how long? For the first 3 years. No, it's not divided by 12. It's divided by 2. It was semi-annual. For the first 3 years. So it's 3 years multiplied by 2, the 2 for the compound interest. But this money stayed in the bank for 7 years. After 3 years, the remaining 4 years, the interest was changed. So you need to write another bracket for the interest that was changed for the same amount. The other interest was 1 plus the interest is 0.12 divided by 12. And then how many years were left? It's 4 years multiplied by 12. This 12 is for the compounded one. Let me write my my 4 times 12 properly. 4 times 12. So this 12 is for compounded monthly, and the 4 is the remaining 4 years. 3 years plus 4 years. This money was in the bank for 7 years. Okay, let's look at the next one. Right, when they change interest rate, you just add extra brackets. But when they deposit amount or they withdraw amount, when they withdraw, you write a minus. When they deposit, it's a plus. So it means on this statement, because my board is finished, I'm going to write here. It's going to be plus. Plus what? Now it's a new amount. So my P is 4,000. Then open bracket, 1 plus. This 4,000 was only affected by this interest rate, not the other one, because it was deposited in year 5 when the interest rate has changed to 12% compounded monthly. So we're going to have 0.12 divided by 12. Now you have to say, if they deposit the money in year 5, how many years did the money stay in the bank? Year 5, year 6, year 7. So it was 2 years. 2 years, but you have to multiply it with a 12 because it was compounded monthly. 12, right? These are your marks. What I'm going to do now, you only get 1 mark. Now you take your calculator, you punch all this information, you punch everything in your calculator and you get the answer, you get 1 mark. And this question is 6 marks. So even if you don't calculate correctly, you still get 5 marks. Let's take our calculator and do the last part. We punch in 5,500. Then we open our bracket. 1 plus fraction 0.14, go down 2, close. Then the power thingy, 3 times 2, go out. Then open bracket for the next fraction. 1 plus fraction for the next interest, 0.12, go down 12, power 4 times 12, and then we put a plus for this one. Plus 4,000, open bracket 1, plus fraction 0.12, go down 12, close bracket, power 2 times 12 equals 2. Then you have your answer is 18,386,028 Okay, this is how you calculate using timeline. Please practice, you'll get it right, and it has a lot of marks. Thank you for watching.